Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Here on the Sheenapreneur channel, I share information about government contracting, veteran business content, and other business tips. Don't forget to check out the GovCon for Winners course that teaches 3-tier contracting: federal, local, and corporate contracting. Now let's get to it. Hey everyone, so I wanted to come to you and talk about a little bit about free help versus paid help when it comes to developing your government contracting business and also putting together proposals. So right now, as you can see, my scenery has changed a little bit, and I am in the American Express Minute Suites at the airport because your girl be on the road. When covering paid help versus free help, I wanted to give you a couple of strategies you can use to analyze what's best for you based on where you are in your business. So if you are starting your government contracting business and you're trying to figure out what should you do, how should you do it, where should you start, what methods you should go with, how to vet someone that you may pay for in order to help you with your government contracting business, or someone to help you develop your proposals. When I first started my GovCon business, I really was trying to figure out how can I do all of this for free, because I needed everything to be for free because I was just starting out. I wasn't a brand new business owner per se. I wasn't new to the industry, but I was new to government contracting, of course. So I didn't know what expenses were going to lie in front of me. I didn't know how to evaluate what I should pay for, what's free. And then I hear, oh, all you have to do is start a government contracting business. And then I quickly realized that, everything costs money when it comes to starting up a business. So what I did was start researching. Google was my friend. Google has always been my friend. Google continues to be my friend. So I just Googled government contracting. And of course, for some of you who have followed me for a little while, you know that I have praised Eric Coffey for making this government contracting journey a lot easier for me in the early stages. And I just binge watch a whole bunch of YouTube videos. I started doing everything on my own. And by everything, I mean figuring out how to register on SAM, figuring out how to register as a local vendor, because I started doing both at the same time. I was doing federal contracting, or my aspiration was to do federal contracting and local contracting at the same time. At the beginning, those are my two major things. And then I was even leaning more toward local because I felt that if someone doesn't give me my money, I can go straight to their office and politely knock on the door to get my money. That was really my ideology. My thought process when I went into this thing was federal was great. I registered. I did everything I needed to do as far as getting my certifications, but I wanted to make sure that I also was heavily focused on local, especially since it seemed at the time that there were a lot of local bids coming through, whether it was when I signed up for something. And of course, you know that Gov Directions is Bay. So it's my favorite service that I use in order to find contracts in my industry. So I do have a whole tutorial on how to navigate through Gov Directions. I will put my affiliate link in the description, so you can look out for that and register and use it the way you please. You can use the free version, you can use the paid version. Now, when it came to actually writing proposals or responding to solicitations, there were several things that I was very, very unclear about. And what I did is I just followed the rules. After registering with whoever I needed to register with, federal aside, I went on to the local side, and my first government contract I bid on, I won, and it ended up being a disaster. Ended up being a whole thing, and I had to cancel it. But then my second one, which was my first performing contract, it was in the 6-figure range. It was just filling out documents. It was relatively easy. I did a site visit with my contractor that I had used for real estate for several years. We went in there, knocked that thing out, and it was an easy delivery. And so I did that on my own, which of course is absolutely free. Performed that contract, moved on to the beginning of the new year. And so I told myself, even though I was able to submit documentation for those first 2 contracts, I really, really wanted to supersize the amount of bids that I was putting in. War Dogs is one of my favorite movies, and the interview I watched with the War Dogs, one of the guys, he said that they were submitting like 10 bids a week, and at that time I was doing barely 1 a month. And so I realized at the beginning of the new year that I really needed to kick in high gear and hire someone to write my proposals for me. And so with writing proposals, it wasn't just she sits there and writes an RFP for, you know, a heavy RFP with like all the cleanse and all with the technical proposal and then with the pricing proposal. It wasn't that. It was literally just filling out mostly documents. But then when I'm trying to accomplish a goal, I think at that time was 3 per week, there was no possible way that I was going to be able to do it because it was just Sheena solo dolo at that time. And this is in 2019. I needed some help. And so since this particular lady that I use, and I still use her to this day, for here and there, at that time she was familiar with the industry. She was able to some of the proposals that we were submitting, or even the RFQs, the request for quote that we were submitting, needed some write-ups sometimes, and so she was able to do that. And I didn't realize how important some of that stuff was, because when you're starting out, you're like, do I need to submit all this stuff that they're asking? Yes, you do. So she kind of helped me realize that that was something that was extremely important, and then how to write some narrations when she was working on it. But then she asked me to, you know, add something to it because she's still getting to know my business. So it was very important for me to have someone who was familiar with the industry to push me along, essentially hold my hand in a sense. But she was doing most of the work, including some of the site visits, and she was doing the proposal submission. So I would say if you were to hire someone to write your proposals for you, or even just to help you with government contracting, business development, it's really important to know exactly what they're going to do for you. Very few people will write your proposals for you. That is a fact. Like, even after working with this young lady, I couldn't really find anyone else that was willing to do what she was doing. She just really, really genuinely wants to help people in government contracting, and she's just phenomenal person. And so mostly the things that we were submitting, like I said, was local. So there were documents, a few write-ups here and there, but no full proposals until later on. So with her price was extremely reasonable. And I think she just kind of went out on a limb to help me. And I absolutely would recommend finding someone to help you through this process, especially at the beginning, who can write proposals, who can help you navigate through some of your solicitations. And even she was finding the bids for me as well. I would find some as well. That was something that I enjoyed doing, ironically. But she was also finding the bids for me. So she was finding the bids, asking, are you interested, and kind of giving me a quick little synopsis of what it is, where it is. She also would ask me at the beginning, you know, what's your geographical area that you want to cover? And at that time, I only want to do Metro Atlanta. But that's something that she would ask, and something important to ask someone who's going to be doing your proposals for you. What geographical area, if they're going to be finding your bids for you. Also, are they going to be writing everything for you? Are they going to fill out all the documents? Are they going to get the stuff notarized? Are they going to go to site visits if that's something that your industry requires? Everything. Like, are they going to submit on your behalf, whether it's mail in or online? Are they going to do all that, give you follow-ups, let you know if you won? So many things. So I will put a list in the description of what someone who you pay would need to do for you in order to make it make sense. Now, you can boutique that and a la carte that. I haven't necessarily done that per se when it comes to government contracting. But if you have someone who just does fire proposals, like that's what they do, and you do everything else, and that's great too. But just know, most of the time when it comes to writing proposals, they really have to love it. Like, they have to love it. Or they have to be really, really good at it. Have a lot of good templates for other people that they've worked with that are in the same industry as you. So there's a lot of things they evaluate. They're going to be interviewing you. You're going to be interviewing them. You just have to make sure it makes sense. So I gave you one free example. Do it yourself, DIY. Hiring a person to do it for you. You can also hire a company. There are a few companies out there that will do sourcing for you. Find things before it comes out for bid, and that's, like Deltec does that, and a couple of other agencies. They're incredibly expensive, in my opinion. Not in my opinion, they're expensive as hell. So, especially if you're just starting, it's really a hard pill to swallow to pay like $1,500 a month for some of these services that are basically just finding something that you can sign up for a free service to use. Just me, later on in your journey, I would say it's probably a really good thing to invest in a company that can find things before it hits the market, because they already have relationships. They know where to find these things before they come out. and then you're more strategic on that end as you go through your business development process. So the next free thing is PTAC. So PTAC is Procurement Technical Assistance Center, and there are PTACs throughout the entire country. And all you have to do is literally go to, okay, here you'll simply go to Google and you'll type in PTAC, and it will take you to the PTAC website. And here you'll be able to, the locations for the local PTAC within your state. So let's try somewhere fun. Let's go to South Dakota. So there is a South Dakota PTAC, and the locations, there's multiple locations. So you'll see if you live in Vermilion, that's a nice name, Sioux Falls, Pierre, Rapid City, Yankton. I picked the hardest state, but as you can see, there's multiple PTACs within your state. So no matter which state that you choose, you will see that there will typically be more than one, and usually they're connected to some sort of college. South Carolina only has one. Bet you that Rhode Island only has one as well. Yep, so Providence, Rhode Island, and they are set up to help you win contracts. So make sure that they are doing their job. If you're just starting out, they can help you get started. If you're already in government contracting, they should be able to help you out with classes and maybe review a solicitation with you. At a very low level, they should be able to assist you and guide you along the process. So yes, as you can see, that video shows you how to find PTAC in your local area. And they are throughout the country. They are not all created equal. Just remember that. And if you find one that's not really helpful, you could explore other locations. Don't let that experience with the PTAC determine how your experience with government contracting will be. I've just heard so many times that people are they're discouraged because they spoke with PTAC and PTAC wasn't very helpful. So I gave you 2 free and 2 paid ways to get your government contracting business started. DIY, PTAC, paid. Those are the 2 free. 1 paid is paying a person who is familiar with the industry. Usually those people are going to be grant writers also. Topic for a whole nother video. And then also hiring a company to do your sourcing for you and or potentially do your proposals for you. So another way is to use bid delivery services. That's kind of in-betweeny because it does, but it doesn't do stuff for you. Most of the sites that deliver bids are going to be low cost, but you have to do all the work yourself. They find and source the solicitation for you based on your industry, depending on which service you sign up for with the company. GovDirections, which is free and paid. SAM.gov, which is always free. Please remember that. And then some of the local agencies, they have their own portals that you can use. Those are always free, and they will sometimes send you some of these solicitations that are available in that area, whether it's city, school, county, or state solicitations. Sometimes they all go to one portal, sometimes they're separated, sometimes I sign up for all of them and I just get 1 million emails a day. That is a free way to get started. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, go on to be a successful government contractor. From your favorite veteran, from your favorite government contractor in the field. Till next time.